Hi boys and girls, welcome to the newest episode of the Bookworm's Bedtime Stories. I'm very excited because as I record this, it's actually the night before New Year's Eve. I'm looking forward to having some fun with my family. And I hope you guys have big plans to have fun with your family and friends as well. And if you're watching this after New Year's, I hope you had a great time on New Year's Eve. And I hope the New Year's is going well for you. We're going to continue, since New Year's is coming up, with books that have kind of a little message to help us be the best versions of ourselves we can be as we go into our new year. And we always want to be the best us we can be and spread a little positivity in the world. So today, I'm reading a book by Janell Cannon, who is a fantastic author, and I hope to share more of her books with you. And this book is called Stellaluna. And Stellaluna is one of my favorite books. I love Stellaluna. And it has two pretty good messages in it. Stellaluna by Janell Cannon. In a warm and sultry forest, far, far away, there once lived a mother fruit bat and her new baby. Oh, how Mother Bat loved her soft, tiny baby. "I'll name you Stellaluna," she crooned. Each night, Mother Bat would carry Stellaluna clutched to her breast as she flew out to search for food. And there we see Mother Bat with Stellaluna flying out to look for food. One night, as Mother Bat followed the heavy scent of ripe fruit, an owl spied her. On silent wings, the powerful bird swooped down upon the bats. Dodging and shrieking, Mother Bat tried to escape, but the owl struck again and again, knocking Stellaluna into the air. Her baby wings were as limp and useless as wet paper. Down, down she went, faster and faster into the forest below. And there we see poor Stellaluna and Mother Bat, and Stellaluna's flying in the air, and the owl's attacking Mother Bat. That must have been so scary for Mama Bat and Stellaluna. The dark leafy tangle of branches caught Stellaluna as she fell. One twig was small enough for Stellaluna's tiny feet. Wrapping her wings about her, she clutched the thin branch, trembling with cold and fear. "Mother," Stellaluna squeaked, "where are you?" By daybreak, the baby bat could hold on no longer. Down, down again she dropped. And there we see poor Stellaluna in that tree, hanging on. She must be so scared without her mom. Flump. Stellaluna landed head first in a soft, downy nest, startling the three baby birds who lived there. Stellaluna quickly clambered from the nest and hung out of sight below it. She listened to the babble of the three birds. "What was that?" cried Flap. "I don't know, but it's hanging by its feet," chirped Flitter. "Shh, here comes Mama," hissed Pip. And there we see the baby birds and Stellaluna hanging below the nest, because they don't know what Stellaluna is. They've never seen a bat before. Many, many times that day, Mama Bird flew away, always returning with food for her babies. Stellaluna was terribly hungry, but not for the crawly things Mama Bird brought. Finally, though, the little bat could bear it no longer. She climbed into the nest, closed her eyes, and opened her mouth. Plop! In dropped a big green grasshopper. And there we see poor little Stellaluna. She's so hungry, and she really doesn't want insects. She wants delicious fruit because she's a fruit bat. But she eats the insect because she's so hungry. Sometimes we get hungry, we'll eat anything. Although I thought fruit bats ate insects too, though. So I'm not sure. We'll have to look that up and learn more about bats, because bats are amazing creatures and very interesting and super helpful. Stellaluna learned to be like the birds. She stayed awake all day and slept at night, because bats are nocturnal and they stay up all night. She ate bugs, even though they tasted awful. Her bat ways were quickly disappearing, except for one thing: Stellaluna liked to sleep hanging by her feet. Once when Mama was away, the curious baby birds decided to try it too. When Mama Bird came home, she saw 8 tiny feet gripping the edge of the nest. "Eek!" she cried. "Get back up here this instant. You're going to fall and break your necks." And so Mama was fussing at those baby birds because you see them hanging upside down, and she was worried about them that they were going to get hurt. The birds clambered back into the nest, but Mama Bird stopped Stellaluna. "You are teaching my children to do bad things. I will not let you back into this nest unless you promise to obey all the rules of this house." Stellaluna promised. She ate bugs without making faces, she slept in the nest at night, and she didn't hang by her feet. Stellaluna behaved as a good bird should. And there we see poor little Stellaluna, who feels so out of place, and Mama Bird's fussing at her. And don't get me wrong, it's good to follow rules and listen to our parents and families who are, trying to take care of us, but at the same time, Stellaluna's not a bird, she's a bat. All the babies grew up quickly. Soon the nest became crowded. Mama Bird told them it was time to learn to fly. One by one, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stellaluna jumped from the nest. Their wings worked. "I'm just like them," thought Stellaluna. "I can fly too." And there we see Stellaluna and the other birds are learning how to fly and use their wings. And so at least in this, Stellaluna is like the birds. Pip, Flitter, and Flap landed gracefully on a branch. Stellaluna tried to do the same. And so there we see the baby birds and landed on the branch. And Stellaluna's trying to, but it's not easy for a bat to land on a branch like a bird does. How embarrassing. And so we see Stellaluna, she's trying so hard, but she's struggling to land because that's just not how bats land. "I will fly all day," Stellaluna told herself. "Then no one will see how clumsy I am." And there we see Stellaluna on the branch, and she's decided instead of trying to land it all, she's going to fly all day so no one will make fun of her. Poor, poor Stellaluna. The next day, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stellaluna went flying far from home. They flew for hours, exercising their new wings. "The sun is setting," warned Flitter. "We had better go home, or we will get lost in the dark," said Flap. But Stellaluna had flown far ahead and was nowhere to be seen. The 3 anxious birds went home without her. And so there we see the birds have landed and decided they're going to head back home because it's getting dark, and birds don't fly in the dark, except for certain ones who are nocturnal. And there we see Stellaluna had decided to fly all day so she didn't have to land because she didn't want everybody to see how clumsy she was. And so now she's gone way ahead. All alone, Stellaluna flew and flew until her wings ached, and she dropped into a tree. "I promised not to hang by my feet," Stellaluna sighed. So she hung by her thumbs and soon fell asleep. She didn't hear the soft sound of wings coming near. And there we see poor old Stellaluna hanging by her thumbs from a tree. And that's just not how bats do it. "Hey!" a loud voice said. "Why are you hanging upside down?" Stellaluna's eyes opened wide. She saw a most peculiar face. "I'm not upside down. You are," Stellaluna said. "Ah, but you're a bat. Bats hang by their feet. You are hanging by your thumbs, so that makes you upside down," the creature said. "I am a bat. I am hanging by my feet. That makes me right side up." Stellaluna was confused. "Mama Bird told me I was upside down. She said I was wrong. Wrong for a bird maybe, but not for a bat." And there we see Stellaluna hanging by her thumbs, and this new bat friend of hers hanging from his feet. And he's upside down and she's right side up, but for a bat, she's upside down and he's right side up. Boy, that could get confusing. More bats gathered around to see the strange young bat who behaved like a bird. Stellaluna told them her story. "You ate bugs?" stuttered one. "You slept at night?" gasped another. How very strange, they all murmured. Wait, let me look at this child." A bat pushed through the crowd. "An owl attacked you?" she asked, sniffing Stellaluna's fur. She whispered, "You are Stellaluna. You are my baby." And there we see all the bats. And so Stellaluna's mom has found her. That is so good. How happy. "You escaped the owl?" cried Stellaluna. "You survived?" "Yes," said Mother Bat as she wrapped her wings around Stellaluna. "Come with me and I'll show you where to find the most delicious fruit. You will never have to eat another bug as long as you live." And there we see Mama and Stellaluna. They're so happy they found each other. They're hugging in the tree. "But it's nighttime," Stellaluna squeaked. "We can't fly in the dark or we will crash into trees." "We're bats," said Mother Bat. "We can see in darkness. Come with us." Stellaluna was afraid, but she let go of the tree and dropped into the deep blue sky. Stellaluna could see. She felt as though rays of light shone from her eyes. She was able to see everything in her path. And there we see Stellaluna flying around and just amazed because she can see at night. And she was always told birds don't fly at night. So she's just amazed. Soon the bats found a mango tree, and Stellaluna ate as much of the fruit as she could hold. "I'll never eat another bug as long as I live," cheered Stellaluna as she stuffed herself full. "I must tell Pip, Flitter, and Flap." And there we see Stellaluna hanging on the mango tree. And she loves the mangoes because they're sweet and delicious. I love mangoes too. Have you guys ever tried a mango? They're really yummy. The next day, Stellaluna went to visit the birds. "Come with me and meet my bat families," said Stellaluna. "Okay, let's go," agreed Pip. "They hang by their feet and they fly at night and they eat the best food in the world," Stellaluna explained to the birds on the way. As the birds flew among the bats, Flap said, "I feel upside down here." So the birds hung by their feet. "Wait until dark," Stellaluna said excitedly. "We will fly at night." And there we see the birds hanging upside down with the bats by their feet. I don't think it's going to work out for the birds any better than it did for Stellaluna when she tried to be a bird instead of a bat. I don't think they can be bats instead of birds. When night came, Stellaluna flew away. Pip, Flitter, and Flap leaped from the tree to follow her. "I can't see a thing," yelled Pip. "Neither can I," howled Flitter. "Aye!" shrieked Flap. "They're going to crash," gasped Stellaluna. "I must rescue them." Stellaluna swooped about, grabbing her friends in the air. She lifted them to a tree, and the birds grasped a branch. Stellaluna hung from the limb above them. And there we see Stellaluna grabbing the baby birds, or they're not babies anymore. They're young birds still, though. She's grabbing them and saving them and taking them up to the tree so they don't get hurt. "We're safe," said Stellaluna. Then she sighed. "I wish you could see in the dark, too." "We wish you could land on your feet," Flitter replied. Pip and Flap nodded. They perched in silence for a long time. "How can we be so different and feel so much alike?" mused Flitter. "And how can we feel so different and be so much alike?" wondered Pip. "I think this is quite a mystery," Flap chirped. "I agree," said Stellaluna. "But we're friends, and that's a fact." And we can see there the birds and Stellaluna all hugging because they are friends. And that's the end of Stellaluna. And I love it because there are two really good messages there. The first message that we can take away from that is always be ourselves. You're special and wonderful just the way you are. You don't have to pretend to be anybody else other than who you are. And that's wonderful. The other thing is, even if we're different from other people, we can still be friends and love one another. We don't have to all be the same. We should only be who we are. And those around us should love us for who we are, and we should love them for who they are. And so, as we go into the new year, spread a little positivity. And love everybody for who they are, and be proud of who you are, and just be yourself. And I hope you'll continue to join me for our stories. I want you to like, subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell so you'll know when I post a new video. And I'm going to continue to try to make this channel grow, and I'm going to add stuff so to make our time together even more fun. And just I hope just so we can just have a good time and read our bedtime stories and with our friends. So I'll hope you have a happy new year, and I'll see you guys next time.